Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Surya R from class 12 Science 6, number 35.
And my name is Kayla Kamila from class 12-6, presence number 18.
Today we are going to present to you about noun phrase, adjective clause, and prepositional phrase. Next slide, please. And these are the members of our group. So first, we are going to talk about noun phrase.
Okay, so the definition of noun phrase is several words that group together perform the same function or grammatical as noun. Typically, they act as subjects, objects, or prepositional object in a sentence. A noun phrase consists of a noun or pronoun which is called the head, main noun or pronoun, and any dependent words, modifier before or after the head.
So, noun phrase is made up of a noun and any words that are modifying that noun, including articles, determiners, and adjectives or adjective phrases. Noun phrases work in exactly the same way as nouns in a sentence. For example, you can't just let those chickens play at your garden. The shocked students at the class can't do the exam properly. If modifier comes before the noun, it's likely to be an article, possessive noun, possessive pronoun, adjective, or participle. Modifiers that come after the noun include prepositional phrases, adjective clauses, participle phrases, and infinitives.
Nouns name persons, places, things, or ideas. Since there are so many of them, they can be grouped into many different categories. Some of the different types of nouns include common nouns refer to ordinary person, places, things, or ideas like car. Proper nouns refer to specific persons, places, things, or ideas like Mercedes-Benz. Concrete nouns can be experienced through your sense, like flower. Abstract nouns cannot be experienced through the sense, like love. Countable nouns can be counted like cars, uncountable nouns and mass nouns cannot be counted like air. Collective nouns name a group of things or people like flock.
And these are the part of a noun phrase. First off is noun. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. All noun phrases will have core noun with modifiers connected to it. Second is modifier article. An article is always connected to a noun, and so when one is used, it is always part of a noun phrase. The third one is modifier adjective. An adjective is a word that describes nouns or pronouns. Fourth is modifier prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that begins with a preposition and ends with an object. And last, determiner. A determiner is a word that clarifies a noun. It is used to differentiate between similar nouns. Determiners answer questions such as which one, whose, how many, or how much.
How to write a noun phrase. A noun phrase centers on a noun, but that noun may be described by adding modifiers, and adding modifiers to a noun creates a noun phrase. You will quickly note that many nouns have articles a, and the attached to them. Example: cats sleep a lot. No noun phrase. The cat. Article plus noun. The fluffy long-haired cat. Article plus adjective plus noun. The cat on top of the stool is sleeping. Article plus noun plus prepositional phrase. Most big cats hunt at night. Determiner plus adjective plus noun.
Adjective order. Customary order in which two or more adjectives appear in front of a noun phrase. Adjectives appear in the following order. Number one is opinion, such as beautiful, expensive, informative, or cute. Number two is size. For example, small, big, tall, enormous, or massive. Number three is age. such as old, young, youthful, ancient, or new. Number 4 is shape, r- such as round, rectangular, or square. Number 5 is color, like red, yellow, blue, or green. Number 6 is origin, like Singaporean, Japanese, American. Number 7 is material, like metal, wood, plastic, rubber, glass, or silk. And last, such as number 8 is purpose, such as cooking, hammering, sewing, or washing.
And then next, there's type of noun phrase. Based on structure, noun or pronoun. Often, a noun phrase is just a noun or a pronoun. For example, people like to have money. And then pre-modifier. There's determiners. Those houses are very expensive. And then there's quantifiers. I've lived in a lot of houses. Numbers. My brother owns two houses. And adjectives. I love old houses. We use pre-modifiers in this order. Determiners and quantifiers, and then numbers, and then adjectives plus nouns.
Post modifier. Post modifier is parts of a noun phrase that go after the noun. Number 1 is prepositional phrases, like, for example, a man with a gun, or the boy in the blue shirt. Number 2 is ing phrases, like the man standing over there, or the boy talking to Angela. Number 3 is relative clauses, such as the man we met yesterday, or the house that Jack built. Number 4 is that clauses. These are very common after nouns like idea, fact, belief, suggestion. For example, he's still very fit in spite of the fact that he's over 80. She got the idea that people didn't like her. Number 5, two infinitives. For example, I've got no decent shoes. I've got no decent shoes to wear.
And then next, based on function. The first one is noun phrase as subject. A subject is a noun that sentence is about. Example, very few giant pandas remain in the wild. And then the next, there's noun phrase as a complement. A complement restates or gives more information about a noun. It always follows a state of being verb. Is, am, are, will, be, was, were. For example, a sailor's best friend in the wide open sea. And then there's noun phrase as a direct object. A direct object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action of a verb. For example, Grandma cooked a meal for 10 people, even though there were only four of us. And then the last, noun phrase as indirect object. An indirect object receives the direct object. For example, Trudy gave her hungry crying baby a bottle.
Next up, we're going to talk about prepositional phrase.
So the definition of prepositional phrase is a preposition followed by a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase that together act as an adjective describing a noun or an adverb describing a verb in a sentence.
Prepositional phrases consist of a preposition and the words which follow it, a complement. The complement is most commonly a noun phrase or pronoun, but it can also be an adverb phrase, usually one of place or time, a verb in the ing form, or less commonly, a prepositional phrase or a WH clause. Example: Daisy saw an eagle in a tree. The prepositional phrase is a noun phrase. And then we have they raced down a hill. The prepositional phrase is an adverb. Prepositional phrases can be used like adjectives and adverbs to modify nouns or verbs. They can offer more detail about an object so that the reader or listener knows what or whom is being referred to, or they can point to where something is, or when or why something happened. Some example of prepositions that begin prepositional phrases are in, before, after, at school, on, by, out, for, etc.
Type of prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase that modifies nouns is called quite logically an adjectival phrase. When acting in the adjectival role, a prepositional phrase answers one of two questions: which one or what kind of. Prepositional phrase as adjective. Example: the lamp on Tom's desk was a Christmas gift. It could answer the question which lamp, and then the next for Tom, fame is the only reason for writing. It could answer the question what kind of reason.
And now we have prepositional phrase as adverb. A prepositional phrase that modifies verb is called an adverbial phrase. Adverbial prepositional phrase answers certain questions like when, where, when, how, why, under what condition. Example, wanting to impress Sue, Tom planned to make reservations at an expensive restaurant. It answers the question where. Tom called on Friday to make the reservations for Saturday. It answered the question when. Tom wanted to take Sue someplace nice for their 10th anniversary. It answered the question why. Tom cringed when the preacher said, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." It answers the question how. The preacher also said, "A few crumbs of bread are a feast to an end." It answers the question under what condition.
Next, we're going to talk about adjective clause.
The definition of adjective clause is a pronoun that links one part of a sentence to another by introducing a relative clause, which describes an earlier noun or pronoun.
So the explanation is, adjective clause is a dependent clause which modifies a noun and usually begins with relative pronoun which, that, who, whom, whose, or a relative adverb where, when, or what. Adjective clause can be placed after the noun or pronoun they are modifying. Adjective clause are always start with one of the relative pronouns which act as the subject or the object of the clause. For examples, the person who made the mess needs to clean it. This is the pillow where the cat sleeps every morning.
Type of adjective clause. Type 1 is relative pronoun. Who. Sandy is the first person who helped the victims of the accident. Whom. She is the woman to whom I always tell my feeling. Whose. Thousands of people enter the mosque whose design is so beautiful. Which. My car, which is lost yesterday, has just been returned by the police. And last, that. I need to tell that I love you so much.
And then next we have relative adverb. When, I don't remember when she went into my room. Where, I don't know where to go from here. Why, we have to consider why she decided to resign from the company. How, do you know how to go to the nearby train station?
Adjective clause in restrictive clause and non-restrictive clause. Restrictive clause. Restrictive clauses are independent and dependent sentences that are bound. If the dependent is removed, then the dependent meaning will be affected. For example, the glasses which you broke is an expensive sunglasses. Non-restrictive clause. Restrictive clauses are independent and dependent sentences that are not bound. If the dependent is removed, then the independent meaning will not be affected. For example, Amanda Rolles, whom I really like, plays a new movie.
Special thanks to our beloved teacher, Mrs. Rahayu Prihatini. Thank you for
Thank you for watching our presentation today. I hope you learned from it. Thank you.
we apologize for maybe there's some mistake here and there, but we will really appreciate some critics and thank you.